Hey everybody, welcome to the live stream. Snowflake reported earnings and they're down big in aftermarket trading. They were down 23% the last time I looked. Let's see if Yahoo Finance is updated. It's snow. Does anybody know, is after hours, I think it's just for 2 hours, or does it go like, is it like 24 hours? Let me know. I'm not 100% sure on that. But they're down 23% after hours. So the market's been closed now for 2 hours. And it's still moving, so I guess it's still trading. So I know ChargePoint, I know that's something people on my channel are following. That's up 8%. So Snowflake, Coupang are reporting. Viva Systems, which I'm not really familiar with, but they have a pretty big market cap. Dollar Tree, which I know about. I don't know how to say this name. It's SBER Bank. Sberbank. It's a Russian bank. They're reporting. Look at the stock. It's well, we know why it's down, but it was $15. Now it's 90 cents. Just a week ago it was $15, which is pretty close to its all-time high. Now it's down to 90 cents. And you can't buy Russian stocks. It's blocked. Actually, one of my subs, he commented that he's gonna unsubscribe because he's Russian and he's not allowed to buy American stocks, so something like that, which I thought was odd. Like, why would he get in trouble for subscribing to other channels? Okay, closes at 8 p.m. Okay. So it's 4:30 to 8 is after hours. And pre-market trading. I know the market opens at 9:30 Eastern time. Is that like, does anybody know, is that 6:30 to 9:30? Well, it's 4:30 to 8. That's 3.5 hours. It was 10 cents. That's crazy. Let's see the full chart. Yeah, that's nuts. So Coupang reported earnings. I don't know if they released earnings yet. Let's see if it's up or down. It's up. Did they release earnings? Coupang earnings. They missed earnings and they missed revenue. That's weird. The stock is up. Is that right? This Q. Yeah, it's up. How? That's weird. It's up. I guess there was So you could trade at 7 a.m. 2.5 hours before the market opens. The only thing about pre and post market is there's not much trading, so it's a lot more volatile. So if you make a mistake, it's likely to happen pre and post market. Um, it's probably hard to make a mistake during the regular market hours. Like if you went to buy Coupang and you wrote $40, but by accident you wrote 45 as your limit order instead of 25. Who else has Viva Systems? I'm not really familiar with Viva Systems. Dollar Tree. How's Dollar Tree doing? That's down a little bit. Dollar Tree earnings. They beat earnings. They missed on revenue. Tree, let's see if we can bring up their E-Trade. I have E-Trade also. But I don't do extended trading. I'm sure I could sign up for that, but I don't do that. Um, um, this is old. This is a year old. Okay. Revenue is up. Cost of revenue, SG&A, operating income. So operating income is down. Earnings are down from last year, but they did beat earnings. PaySafe, yeah, PaySafe reported earnings today. They're up 8%. They were up 5% during the trading day. Now they're up. They beat revenue, but I don't know about EPS. PaySafe is a SPAC. Yeah, PaySafe has been really struggling. I'm pretty sure it's it's SPAC. It peaked at 19, but it's been falling ever since. Neo, I think, is good. I think they're one of the better EV cars. I guess if I had to pick, they're one of the companies that I might pick as like could be number 2 EV cars. Or obviously they're not gonna touch Tesla, but earnings release. PaySafe was a value play a while ago. Yeah, it's really been getting crushed. Revenue is flat. EBITDA is up a little bit. Earnings are up. I wonder why they're not growing at all. I mean, the revenue is so small, 370 million. You would think. Rivian. Well, Rivian, it moved a lot today, right? So Nordstrom was up a lot because of earnings. Peabody was up. Hewlett Packard. Stop. Rivian was down 13%. Right. They didn't have good earnings, right, Rivian? They lowered their 2022 forecast. Rivian. Who got down? There was an EV company that got downgraded. Was it Rivian? No, I think Lucid got downgraded today, right? By Bank of America? Yeah, I think I read Lucid was downgraded. B of A, that was it. Did the stock go down? It must have went down. So it went down a little bit. Okay, B of A lowered its outlook. Reported marginally ahead of expectations and lower operating expenditures. They're not growing because they have very high fees, not much optionality to put money in your bank without avoiding fees. I used this service since 2010, but now they're worse than PayPal. Yeah, I mean, I would never touch a company like PaySafe. Not that there's a problem with PaySafe. It's just that I'm kind of like I spent so many years with PayPal, and I have Venmo. I like Venmo a lot, so I'm like, it's kind of like they have my business. Hyliion and Hyliion. I don't think you're gonna ever see money. You never with this company. Are they still pre-revenue, Hyliion? Oh, they made revenue. They got revenue, $200,000. What was that from? Because they've been really behind for like, I think Hyliion said in 2000 they were going to have, 2000, like 21, they were supposed to have a few million. No, 2020 they're supposed to have a few million of revenue. Then 2021, and they didn't do. And it took them a really long time. It took them till just recently to get some revenue. I don't think. I don't think they can. I don't think they have a good business model. I just think it's because they don't make electric vehicles, right? Like Neo and Tesla and Ford, they make electric vehicles. They make a an add-on. So their product has to be added onto a truck, a semi tractor. Um, so if you already have a fleet of trucks, like you're a moving company and you have a fleet of trucks, maybe Hyliion can work with a company like that and add their product onto their trucks. The only way Hyliion can make money really is they have to kind of they have to work with like a vehicle manufacturer like a Ford and have that as a option when you buy your Ford truck or whatever truck manufacturer. Like, do you want a Hyliion add-on or not? That's really the only way they can make money. Nice, Mohammed. Yeah, Valet. I hope you guys bought Valet or Rio because they just been going through the moon. I think Hyliion. I think the CEO will make money from the IPO, but I don't think investors are going to make any money. I just don't. What's up, Agav? SoFi, I don't know. I mean, I'd be a little nervous investing in SoFi, but I mean, PBR is a good stock. The risk is the country they're in, but it's a good stock. PBR is Brazil, right? Is that the Brazilian Petrobras? Yeah, that's a Brazilian company. So that's the risk. Because their financials are great. I mean, their revenue and their earnings and their cash flow are really high relative to their market cap. Much better ratios than the competitors. They have like the best. But the reason they're so good is because they're in Brazil. But I'm really curious what Hyliion's got their revenue from. I mean, $200,000 of revenue, so it couldn't have been from. It was probably like a warranty. They sold like a warranty on their product because that's really not unless they sold just one of their products. I don't know. It's not. Sheesh. I don't know if I'm gonna figure it out. Does anybody know what the revenue was from? We currently generate revenues from the sale of hybrid EX powertrains for long-haul Class 8 EV trucks. Sales volume related to initial production of hybrid EX. I mean, how much does a powertrain cost? How much is the Russian ruble's interest rate is up 20%. Yeah, snow tanked. Well, I guess they can't charge that much for a powertrain unit. I mean, if the truck alone costs 100,000, they can't charge. So they'll probably charge like 5,000 each. Does that sound right? Powertrain for for one of those semi trucks, like $10,000. Is that about right? Snowflake earnings. Yeah, Intel is a long-term thing. It might take years to finally see the growth we want. I'm expected to wait a few years on that one because they did acquire they acquired that the foundry, right? I forgot the name of that. What's the foundry they recently acquired? And they're building a factory to make semiconductor chips. So I think it's a long-term. What's the name of the foundry they acquired? Tower Semiconductor. Yeah, they just acquired them recently, this month or last month, and yeah, they're building out that factory. So I think it's going to be a few years to see to 2 or 3x on that one. I'm really hoping. I'm a little nervous about that one. Well, look at Snowflake. They 300% they beat the earnings and 3% they beat the revenue. But it's down. It's down like 25%, right? 22%. Snowflake's forecast calls for slowing growth in product revenue, which makes up for most of total revenue. The cloud software company expects product revenue growth in the first quarter. 30% after analytics software reported the slowest revenue growth since 2019. They did beat revenue. They lost 43 cents on earnings. How do you beat earnings by 200% with a loss? Oh, I guess the loss was expected to be like $1 and they lost 40 cents. Snowflake's revenue grew 100% year over year in the fiscal fourth quarter, which ended in the previous quarter. The company said it's 6,000 customers. I've never invested in a Russian company. I want to. I want to invest in Gazprom because it's a good company and it's. I mean, I know it's risky, but once the war's over, I think it'll go back up. So you see that Snowflake is acquiring Streamlit. It doesn't seem that bad. Why did it go up? So it peaked in November at about 400. And now it's down 130. So it's down like 30%. Yeah, I mean, they should charge more, right? Because it's supply demand, right? Like what does because a lot of oil comes from that part of the world, right? So yeah, oil prices, whatever Russia and Ukraine, whatever products they export, a lot of that should be going up because they're not going to be exporting anything. Yeah, you can't buy Russian stocks. I try to buy Gazprom for a few days now. You can't do it. They won't let you. Back in Russia. Yeah. This is what I do all the time. I always try to pronounce words correctly. That's
Sberbank of Russia. Sberbank of Russia.
Sberbank.
Sberbank of Russia. Sberbank of Russia.
Sberbank. No, I didn't look into bonds. But oil, you can't invest in any I try to invest in Gazprom, which is an oil and gas stock, and that's blocked. Sberbank. 100% dividend. That's funny, right? $2.9 trillion ruble in revenue. But yeah, but I wonder if people in Russia are able to get their money out of the banks, because I heard there may be a run on the Russian banks, like there was in World War II. What other earnings came out today that people have questions on? You're outside the library? Nice. What MKS Instruments? Okay, MKS Instruments, 8.5 billion. Not much activity on it. Look, it looks good. I mean, it looks pretty healthy. They're profitable and net cash flow positive, growing revenue. They don't have too much debt. And let me show you this website I use, Scientific and Technical Instruments. Scientific. Let me show you this website. It's pretty cool. I can I mean, there's a lot of things on here, but one thing I do all the time is every time I do a video, I could pick the industry, Scientific and Technical Instruments. And this is good because when I used to do my videos, I just compare the companies to other videos I've done. So I would only compare the ticker to similar companies that I did in the past videos on. But obviously there was a lot of companies I didn't do videos on. So this website is good. It gives me every single company. MKS. This is 8 point. So it's right here. Yeah, MKSI. I have the right one, right? And you could pick anything you want. You could pick like dividend. So this pays the biggest dividend. You can look at their 3-year revenue growth rate. I guess it's hard to see now. You could download it. You could download this into Excel so you can easily view it. Okay, this is a good way. So their 3-year annual growth, 3-year annual revenue growth rate is 12%. Yeah, Vale was a great one. It's huge dividend. You could do like pick a stock. I'll show you like what the site does. Like okay, say it's Tesla, right? You could see their assets. You can go back as far as you want. I mean, you can look at so much like employee statistics, number of employees. I mean, you can look at anything. Revenue by source. It's mostly auto sales, of course. Okay. And there's an industry data field. So you could pick any industry. So for servers, like they show the companies that are largest in that industry and its charts. So the type of servers. If you were looking at this industry, like you were looking at Dell, HP, the most popular servers. YouTube Roman is in Russian is saying in his news video, no bank has cash. Nope. Yeah, I'm not surprised if that's accurate because everybody's taking their money out. There's lines of people who are taking their money out and buying like US dollars because it's not going to be worth much. AT&T, nice. So what you would, Jay, you were talking about. Let me. So right, a lot of times you'll see a number in issuing stock and repurchasing stock. But for example, this is Apple. I don't think Apple actually issued any stock. I don't think they sold stock. Like when you think of issuing stock, you think of a company that's doing a capital raise, that's selling stock into the open market because they need money. When it's a small dollar amount like this, they probably just gave options to like an investor or their employee, or they sold warrants or debentures or convertible debt, and now it's converting. And now somebody wants to convert or convertible preferred stock. So if you hold those instruments and you want to convert from debt to equity, then it does raise. It's not common stock; it's capital stock. So it includes all stock, not just common stock. But I'm sure this is not common stock. But like when they Apple actually bought back the stock. This wasn't like, if you see really small amounts in repurchase of capital stock, that they probably didn't buy stock off the open market. That's probably within their employees. Like sometimes they buy stock from their employees based on whatever terms they set up. Okay, there's a lot of rubles buying US dollars. Yeah, I think most people in Russia are buying Bitcoin. So Bitcoin may go up because of Russia. It looks like it might have gone up a little bit since then. So it looks like it's up maybe 15%. Rush Street, that was today. They had earnings today. It's down 14%. I did a video on Rush Street. These gambling stocks, they're risky, you know. They've been going down a lot, right? It's is this a SPAC? It's a SPAC. Oh, they didn't report yet. Rush Street. Does anybody know? Did Rush Street report earnings? Because sometimes it's not updated when you Google it. They did report, right? But you can't really tell if they beat earnings because this is just what the company's not going to mention that in their report. So revenue's up 30% from last year. They still have a loss. They did report, but they must have missed earnings or missed revenue because it's down 14%. Did Rush Street? Does anybody know Rush Street? What? Yeah, I don't know if they beat earnings, but yeah, they're up. But are you buying Chinese stocks? I actually bought Alibaba today. That's the only Chinese stock I'm comfortable with right now. I did a video on Alibaba earlier. Um, um, it's so hard to find info sometimes, right? It's like Wall Street likely to beat. Okay. Let's put it, that's earnings of 14 cents per share, negative 14 cents. So they didn't beat it, negative 17 cents. So that's why it probably went down. Puts on Pinduoduo. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, it's down a lot, but I wouldn't buy it. They're still trading at 80 times revenue, 1 billion of revenue, 80 billion market cap. And you have companies like Intel trading at 5 times revenue. But I don't know. I think there's a lot more downside. But who knows? Who knows when the bottom is? I mean, it's already down like, what is it down like 30% from the peak? How could it be so high? How did it IPO at that high of a price? Or did they do a reverse stock split? Sperm Bank. Everybody invest in Sperm Bank. They have no money. They're out of money. Okay. A takeaway. The company that acquired Grubhub. Yeah, I probably feel more comfortable. You can't time these things. I get it, but you don't want to. I think snow at 100 is the right level. I probably would wait till it hits that level. Takeaway. Let's see. I think I might have got really close to my snow prediction. On January 22nd. So just 6 weeks ago, I had a 202. I guess it's been flat since January, right? It was 267. It went up past 300 right after my video. I hate penny stocks. GLYC. You guys like this format? Just like looking at, after hour stocks and stocks that had earnings, and just, I think this is a good format, right? Glycomimetics. Okay, biotech. So they're kind of pre-revenue. Okay. Look, I have over 40 viewers. This is the first time I've had over 40 in a live stream. What else had earnings today? There's a lot of really small stocks. Splunk had earnings today. Bilibili, the YouTube of China. Bilibili. Tourmaline. I did a video on Tourmaline. That's an oil and gas company. Tourmaline Oil Corp. Yeah, that's a Canadian oil and gas company. I guess it trades OTC, so we're probably not going to get much info. I bet you they did really well. Yeah, ChargePoint. Oh, it's tomorrow. CHP. I'm over 50. I'm over 50 viewers. Almost 60. Yeah. It's up 6%. ChargePoint. Bloomberg Terminal. That's a few thousand a month, I think, to get that. I don't even know what I would use it for. ChargePoint earnings. They missed earnings. They beat revenue. So when you invest in a stock, revenue, I think, is, if they could beat one of them, I'd be happy, especially revenue. But sometimes a company misses earnings because of like unusual items on the income statement, like an asset impairment. So that doesn't really make sense. But it's weird, right? Because they missed earnings, but they're up 6%. So how do you have to, like, usually it's priced into the stock whether they beat earnings or not. So they must have priced in that they would have missed earnings totally. And the fact that they missed it a little bit and beat revenue, it went up. But how do you know if it's baked into the price? It's just one of those things, I guess maybe over time we can figure out. ChargePoint. And if you're like, if you ever try to look at this stuff and you get confused, like what to look for, we all do. Even I get confused too. I'm like, there's just so many numbers to look at. But anyways, their revenue doubled, which is really good. I mean, I don't know what the projection was, but doubling your revenue seems good to me. Charging stations more than doubled. Subscriptions went up 60% or so. American Eagle. Zim is I don't know about Zim. I mean, I know a lot of people have been making money on Zim. Yeah, but ChargePoint, it seemed like they had a good quarter. Zim, these container companies and shipping companies. Does anybody follow shipping stocks? It's got to be the most volatile industry I've ever seen. Zim is not as volatile. Well, Zim just came out in January, so there's not much history. But what's another shipping stock? Like, look at these. It was trading at you can't even look at it. It was trading at 100. It was trading at 5.5 quadrillion, 4 quadrillion. It peaked at 4 quadrillion a share. So one share was bigger than the entire U.S. market. Tops. But we know why it says quadrillion a share, right? They look how many reverse stock splits. Maybe that's an outlier. But it's volatility. Riley, thank you. I appreciate it. That's very nice of you. Yeah, so Zim is the biggest marine shipping company, which we knew, right? And Matson is second biggest. Kirby, Golden Ocean. MATX. Let's. What? 1% dividend. What happened? Wow, look at this. They crushed it. Maybe it's not. Maybe these Matson seems like a good company. Yeah, Starbulk. Zim is the biggest public company in terms of market cap. because we don't know about the private companies. We wouldn't know about that. Thanks, Agav. Yeah, did everybody see the Yahoo Finance video? Every time I do a video that's not my normal video, like that's not my usual DCF video, it takes like at least 3 times as long, sometimes longer. It takes so long to do it. So if you want to really help, turn the video on, right? You don't have to watch it if you can, but and click on the settings and change it from normal playback speed to 0.25 on any video, but especially on these types of videos. Change it to 0.25 so it's going to last 4 times as long, and then do whatever you want. You can go in the backyard, you can watch TV. So just do that if you want to really help, because it gets my my view time up, and then the more people that watch the video and the longer they watch it, the more likely YouTube will push it out to more people. I think that's the number one way to get view time. I mean, comments and likes are great, but I think number one is how long people watch it for. It doesn't matter if it's in the background, playing in the background, as long as it's playing. You don't have to watch it either. Yeah, I know, 60 people. It's unbelievable. But if you turn it on and you leave for like an hour or two, it might cut off at some point. So every once in a while, every half hour, just click like stop and then play again, so it knows you're there. You don't have to, but it would help. But anyways, but yeah, my everything's kind of moving up slowly. I'm still getting a few thousand views a day, like 3,000, 2,000 to 3,000 is average. Whenever I put out videos of certain stocks like Intel, AT&T, whenever I put those videos out, views go up a lot. I always know Taiwan stocks are going to be Chinese stocks soon. Why do you say that? Taiwan is a pretty low credit risk country. It's actually one of the lowest. I think a war would hurt the market. I don't know, like historically, but I think generally wars, or anytime there's chaos, whether it's like a lot of rate hikes, or there's a lot of like instability somewhere, and because the market is not based off of what happened today, right? The market's based off of what people think will happen in the future. So when a war breaks out, nothing happened. The sales were the same, like nothing changed in the current day. But the idea is we're gonna not be able to get all these exports. We're not going to be able to import things from Eastern Europe, mainly Russia and Ukraine and some other countries. That's why Tesla went up so much. They weren't even making much. They were losing money and weren't even making much cars, and their stock kept going up because of that idea. And it's true. It worked out for Tesla. They are a great company and they're growing. But a lot of companies, the stock price went way up, and the company never did anything, and it comes crashing down. Hey, Matt, what's up? More financial videos, balance sheet analysis, just what we need to know without complexity. That would hurt the world. It would be an instant world war. Yeah, I tried to I emailed all the local universities. I know it's crazy, 80. I never even beat 40. I emailed all the local colleges asking if I could teach a course, but it's just there's always going to be a marker. The only way there will not be a market is if the world ends, because we need to feed ourselves. We need to buy things to live. We need the basic necessities, and we need businesses to do that. So there's just no way. Once you kind of live through these, I remember during the Great Recession, it was the same thing. Like people like, oh my god. But that's when you want to plow money into the market. This is what kills me about having not working, because I'm not having any money coming in, so I can't put it into the market, which is killing me. But hopefully that changes. So what else had earnings today? Viva. Does anybody know Viva? I'm not even sure what they do. It's a big company though, like 35 billion market cap. Health information services. They're right by me. 2008. I was working risk management in a big bank. Yeah, I was working risk management in a big bank as well. Well, an insurance company, but it was similar. Are you worried about the US dollar? Your channel is undervalued. Thank you. No, I think the US dollar, it's the most stable. For forever, since I was born, it's always been the same thing. The world's going to end, or the dollar's worthless. They always say that. It's always the same thing. But you have to think of it like a fundamental level, how profitable U.S. companies are. Like the big companies, like the Microsofts and the Googles. They're such profitable entities. And then there's always the smaller companies too, the mid-sized companies, but like it's too strong of a. That's why I just don't see a crash. Like 2001 made sense, right? Because companies weren't making any money in the .com. There some companies like Amazon got through that, but almost all, like 98% of the other .coms went bankrupt because they didn't have a business model. But companies today are making money, and that's how it works, right? We give our money to companies, whoever we want to give it to. We buy their stock, and they provide a service or make a product, and bring in cash from that, and then return it to us or put it back into the business. I mean, it's just stonks are going to the moon because they just 10x the money. Don't worry about the stocks. Yeah, right. If you're worried about inflation, put it into the stock market, or buy real estate. I mean, buy an asset, an asset that's not a car, unless you need one. But if you want your money to grow with inflation, just don't put it in the bank. and go to the casino. I remember watching your videos on Gazprom a long time ago. Well, I mean, it's really kind of like it's not about the company's fundamentals. It's just about the government of Russia. So that's the concern. But I would be much more comfortable. I've been trying to invest in Gazprom for a few days now. I'm just going to give up on that. But I'd be much more comfortable investing in Gazprom than investing in Sberbank. But Sberbank, people are pulling their money out of the bank, right? So they can't grow, or they can't function as a business if all the money's getting dragged out. It's just not possible. But Gazprom is, even if they're in a war, they need gas, right? People need to live their lives, and then you also need fuel for the war as well. So I think Gazprom is a good investment if you can get it, but we can't. So oh, James, what'd you say? Sorry. Oh, Yandex. Yeah, the Google of Russia. Well, same thing. I wouldn't touch anything except Gazprom, because you don't need to sell ad space on your platform. Like Yandex, I don't think they're gonna go bankrupt or anything, but you don't need like a company like Yandex to live. You need Gazprom to live. You need to eat. You need to keep your house warm, especially in the winter. But yeah, but I wouldn't touch a company that's what they do. I did a video on Yandex like a year ago or something. What's your view on index funds? Am I the only one who's afraid of scenario like what's happening in Japan? I'm not sure, but I need a second job for investing. Just yeah, I was actually looking for a side job because I want to get some cash in the door so I can invest it. Because I do have a lot of free time. Sberbank should benefit quite a bit from the oil price. Well, everybody should like, but if there's no money in a bank, because I think, because I saw where people were standing online. It's Sberbank. Sberbank unravels after Russia sanctions caused bank run. Yeah, there's a bank run because everybody wants their money out because it's going to be worthless, a ruble. Maybe even this month, it's going to be worth almost nothing. Russia Sberbank pulls out of Europe. Yeah. Abnormal cash outflows. Yeah, because everybody's taking their money out of the bank. And they don't have that much money. A bank doesn't keep all the money. They give it out to someone else. They loan it out. That's how they make money. So they don't have all the money probably to pay the people. If they face large outflows of cash in the region, as well as threats to the safety of employees. See, look, the employees of the bank are getting threatened. Probably people are pissed off. They can't get their money out. Meaning it could no longer supply them with, the bank said it's, so they couldn't get liquidity from, because if your bank runs out of money, it could just go to the Treasury and just get money from the U.S. Treasury. Your money's safe. Even if the bank gets robbed, your money's safe. The first $250,000 at least. But they can't even get, the bank has nobody to go to. They ran out of money and they can't even borrow from anywhere. It's just to make payments. So it doesn't even have money to make the payments to its depositors. That must be annoying when you put all your money in a bank and then when you go to take it out, they say we're out of money. It has 13 billion euros of assets. Is this right? Does anybody know they closed the other Spur banks outside of Russia just because I guess they didn't want to do business with a Russian company anymore because of the war. However, Sberbank said its Swiss subsidiary was not affected by the decision and it was not part of the European arm. The bank in Switzerland continues to work as normal. So if you live in Switzerland, you're okay. Sberbank London shares crashed 95%, down to a penny. The company's main Russian listed shares are not currently trading. The Moscow Stock Exchange, big in your mouth. I don't know what that means. Sberbank was among the bad news. Bad news for Sberbank. Is there any other earnings that we didn't look at? Aviva, Tourmaline, Pure Storage. Hilton. PaySafe. We looked at PaySafe. Abercrombie and Fitch. That's flat. That went down 13% today. Pure Storage, that's a REIT, right? No. Okay. That's up 10%. They must have good earnings. Pure Storage. Yeah, they beat earnings and revenue by double digits. I never even heard of this. You check Riskified. Riskified. I never even heard of it. That the name? Is that a Riskified? Israeli software company. How do you promote people? Isn't there a way to promote someone so they can be a moderator? Okay. I think I'm gonna close out now. It's almost 90 minutes. Yeah, I think this is a good format after the market closes to kind of recap all the changes. It keeps me on top of things. I know it helps other people, but it helps me stay on top of things even more. So yeah, so watch that watch that Yahoo Finance video I just did. Watch it over and over for the rest of the day. So I'll it should be around 3:30 Pacific time. So I'll see you tomorrow 3:30. Okay. Good night.